Okay, who's ready for a power hour? Nothing like a good old fashioned Jace power hour. Okay, I'm gonna share the tracker. I posted it in the chat and I'll post it again at the end as per usual. We're gonna do my perfect summer power hour. This is like a blend of everything that I feel like we need to be covering at least once a day, every day. It's designed to be able to be done in 60 minutes. And what's cool about this particular power hour is um, depending on what's going on in my business week to week, I can switch up how much time I spend in each of these little pockets. So I network, connect, invite, and coach. Those are like the four things that I do every day, no matter what, because I don't really know what else there is to do other than creating content, right? For your calls or your social medias, whatever. So we're just going to get started. Um, we're going to start right here in networking. If you want to, you can kind of write down, I always like to write down sort of a like focus for my power hour. It just helps me stay really in the zone. So I usually will write down like what I really need to, what I'm trying to manifest, or like what goal I'm working on, or whatever it is, to just like hyper focus me in on my work hour. Because a lot of the times there's a billion things going on around me and I have to like, oh, right, I'm working now. This is like, I'm not mom, I'm not wife, I'm not all these other things. So you can write that down. I usually leave a little space for it up at the top. And then we're just going to network. So we're going to take 10 minutes for this section. This is always a pretty quick section just because it doesn't take a lot of time to do these activities. The very first thing we're going to start with always on my power hours is like your first post of the day. If you've done that already, you can start into these other areas. They're pretty self-explanatory, but I'll go through them. So I'm just going to give us a good 6 or 7 minutes to make that first post. And then we'll go from there. This part's important. If you don't do this part, then the rest of it is kind of difficult to do. So I'm focusing on Instagram. I'm going to post or put up a little bit of music and you guys can get to work on that first post, and then just post in the chat when you're done. And usually when the majority is done, then we move forward if that's a little faster. Okay. Okay, you should be wrapping up your post. This part always takes me the longest, but it's such a key piece of the networking section. So I'll give you one more minute and then we're going to go through the rest of this. Okay, so really simply, networking, just for those of you guys that have never done my power hours, is a non-emotional exercise. This is purely to start building your network, like bringing people to you, eventually getting to a point where you don't have to go out and find people as much and they'll just start kind of coming to you. The more you network, the more that will start happening in your business every single day. Networking is something I never skip. It's also what helps to spread your content that you're posting on social media, at least with Instagram, because this is what tells the algorithm, like you're being social, you're not just wanting people to connect with you, but you go out and are active as well. So the first thing so we try and hit like a few boxes. This is my summer hit list in all of these areas of like what I'm specifically doing for each of these things right now. Like I said, we just moved, so things are really hectic. And this really just helps me feel like I'm doing something every day in each category. So the first thing that I do once we make that post is then you're just going to share it to your stories. You're just trying to show activity in every area possible for the Instagram algorithm. That's really what this is about. So go ahead and share that post to your stories and try and add some kind of interactive element to it, meaning ask a question, add a call to action, tell them to go like or save your post, like say, go tell me good morning on my post. I love that one. So simple, but a lot of people do that because it's really simple. So we're going to share that to the stories, which should only take a minute. And add that little interactive button. Okay. And then we're going to do our little 1 minute like challenge. I like doing this first thing in the morning. This is my favorite time to do this because you're up before everybody else most of the time on social media. And this is a good way to kind of say good morning to your followers, to whatever they're posting or the people that you follow. So if you go to your little house button, hit your feed. We're just going to like as many pictures as you can for 1 minute. It's really easy. And then I'm going to have you put how many likes you were able to get. Okay, this is again about being social, being active, staying on the app to make sure your content is being seen. The more you do this, the more your content will be shown to more of your audience. This is Instagram that we're doing this on. Okay, so we're gonna just do the 1 minute like challenge. We're gonna start right now. 10 more seconds. Okay. How many were you able to like? This also, you guys, I know this exercise sounds super weird, but this is one of those exercises where if you can learn to do it, it teaches you kind of how to just ignore content and use it for what you need it for, right? Like you're also liking people's content, which is good. It's a supportive kind of activity, but it's good to sometimes just go in, do the work, not get lost in the scroll, right? Like use it for what you need it for and then get in, get out kind of thing. So, there's a lot of different things that go on for me during that exercise. I also am like scanning my feed to make sure that it's still relevant and in season. And like every person that I'm following is actually helping me stay focused and not get distracted. It's a good way to be like, why am I following that account? And then going back later and just taking note of what's still in season and what isn't, right? Okay. The next thing is we're going to search, save, or share connective content. This is super simple exercise. This is a great time to go to your top performing content. So go back to your own profile, your homepage. And if you need to, you can go up to those three little bars at the top and click on your insights. And you can pull up your top posts over the past month or 3 months or whatever you want to. Or if you know which of your posts was really high performing, all we're going to do is reshare that to your stories, like bring back attention to it and reuse it again. Just be like, remember when this hit or this landed or this, hit home, whatever, and just kind of reshare that content. I also like to do this from big accounts that I follow, because sometimes they'll reshare your story and it just gets more eyes on your account. That's really the goal. So if you go to one of your big mentor pages, whatever, and you see like a post that you love and you share it to your own stories and tag them, shout them out, give your thoughts on it, whatever, most of the time they'll see that you tag them in it and they'll share it back in their stories. And it just gives you a lot more exposure for free. It's super simple again, but it's really helpful. So let's just do it with one of our own pieces of content today, just so you can get a feel for that activity. And then you can start doing that with the bigger accounts if you aren't already. Just really quick while you guys are doing that, Sarah asked, I skipped over the suggested accounts. I actually don't pay attention to that. I just like whatever comes up in my feed. This is again why it's really important to be liking things that are on topic in your social media, because if you're getting a lot of random suggested accounts, that means you're scrolling off topic a lot. But if you're not, then they're going to suggest accounts that actually make sense. And all that is doing is liking an account that isn't following you, and it sends them a notification that you liked their content. And they'll probably be like, oh, who is this person that liked this? And they may go to your account and they may end up following you. Again, it's just about exposure, like leaving your business card, like your digital business card is kind of what that is doing. Okay. I'm going to skip this next one just because we got started a titch late and I want to make sure we get through all of it. But this last one is really important. This is a really simple one to do. You can create a reel in real time. This is really simple to do if you just pop on and you ask a question of the day, or you're like, oh, I'm starting my power hour, whatever it is, but just showing live. And then you can even write in your caption, like, this is what I'm doing live. What are you doing right now? Like, it can be anything. You just want it to be a little bit interactive. You can share a tip, you can share a quote, you can ask a question, you can show them what you're doing, whatever it is. So you can create a real-time reel, or if you want to, you can make a quick to-do list in your stories of what you need to get done today and then check it off as you go throughout the day. Something that you personally can interact with and check back into. People love to follow a good to-do list that's getting checked off. It also shows your personal productivity, which I think is kind of fun to watch other people accomplish sometimes. So you guys can choose. We're going to take 3 minutes and do that last one. So you can create a real-time reel. I like to do 2 truths and a lie. Sometimes you can do that if you're trying to build like the personality part of your social media. So I'm going to give you a couple minutes to do that. And then we're going to go to the connect section. Okay, I opted for the to-do list because that was easier right now. Okay, so we're going to go into the connect section. You guys can finish that up as I'm kind of explaining this next section. So this one, I like to spend 10 or 15 minutes in this section. You can either go down the row and do every single one. You can pick out 2 or 3 if that's easier and spend more time per the activity. So this one, I'm just going to kind of go over really quick, and then I'm just going to give us a minute to work. So this is the section that we're working on right here. So the first thing I do is just go in and look at who all my new followers are, and I acknowledge them in some way. I either go to their account, like their last picture, comment on their last picture. Sometimes you can DM them if you're feeling like really good that morning. Hey, welcome to my page, whatever. You can just however you want to acknowledge them. You can add all their names into a story and welcome them all. Sometimes that's really easy to do. Just tag them all. So I acknowledge my new followers, try to start conversations with them, encourage them to be active and social on my page, know that they can talk to me, whatever. The second thing that I do is I look at all my comments that I haven't seen since the night before. I try to respond to all of them. I scan my DMs, right? I respond to all of those. Again, this is just purely for Instagram, which is where I do most of my networking. This is the activity that I would say don't skip, is coach out loud in the comments section of a big account. This is really what actually is going to give you a lot of exposure and put you out there. So if you've never done this exercise, you basically go to one of the bigger accounts that you follow, whether it's one of your mentors or whatever you're interested in. You find a post that's doing well on their page, you go into the comments section, and you just start responding to people's comments that stand out to you. There's so much opportunity, especially on mindset, health and wellness, like business account mentors, like for coaching out loud and encouraging people and supporting people. That's really what you're trying to do. And what's so cool is when you connect with people that way and you connect with a comment they made on a piece of content that you both are connected to, it actually creates kind of like this instant bond in a way. It's just, this is probably one of the most organic ways to find people authentically on Instagram, I think, that are in season, the kind of people that you want to be around, whatever. So you go in and you focus some time commenting on comments, coaching out loud, right? While you're doing that, if you see people who fit sort of your season of life that you're interested in following, then you can also follow them. If not, that's okay too. It doesn't matter. This is just a way for you to also branch yourself out. Okay. And then the last two things that I do to really get connected before I move into the invite section is I check my online office. I get familiar with what's going on with my business for the day. I do it every single day. Where am I at with Success Club? Where's my PV? Are there any new sponsorships personally or in the organization? Where's my income looking? Team volume. Is there any new partner news that I need to know about? It's a quick thing in and out of the online office. And then I go into my team page, like my partner team page, and I participate, I recognize, I add value, or I respond in some way. And I cannot emphasize this enough, you guys. Being active in your team pages is actually what's going to help build your skills as a coach. Like if you can practice responding, participating, recognizing, adding value, cooperating with your team and your upline in those team pages and contributing, you guys, I'm telling you, it's going to make you a stronger coach all across the board. It's so impactful in so many ways. Okay. So I'm going to give us a good 10 minutes to go through this section, 10 or 15 minutes, and then we'll move on to this last part. And you can, again, pick 2 or 3 if you want, or try and get through all of them if you can. Okay, I'm already on my online office section. Thing that I think people don't realize is how quick you can actually do this stuff. You don't have to spend exorbitant amount of doing this stuff. Um, I don't focus on like 500 reach outs a day. For me, that's not manageable. I try to work in numbers that make sense that I can manage, like with my life. So if I reach out to 50 people in one day and like 10 or 15 of them write me back, like that's a lot. That's a lot of work, especially if you're doing that and compounding it day after day after day. So I'm going to show you kind of what my personal perfect formula is in this next invite section, but just keep that in mind as you go through these activities. Like when you're commenting on big accounts, like it's okay sometimes to not comment. You can also just like comments in the comment section that you like really respond to, because every time you do any kind of activity in a comment section on any page, whoever you are interacting with, it's going to send them a notification that you interacted with their comment, their response, whatever, and they're going to see your name, probably go visit your account because they're probably not a big account themselves. And they'll probably be like, oh, someone supported me today. Like, it's crazy how connective that one piece acknowledgement, how much acknowledgement really makes a difference in people's lives. So the more you can acknowledge people and get in the habit of doing that, getting good at that, I'm telling you, it will pay you forward a billion times over and over and over. Okay, so we're going to check our online office and then we're going to move to this next section. Okay. I know that was quick, but the more you guys do this, the faster you'll get at it. And again, it's not about how many people or how many things in each category, or like how many people you're reaching out to in each category. It really is about quality over quantity. So you're going to go slow at first, but then once you learn the activities, you go a lot faster and the quality comes in quantity, right? Like that's the ultimate goal is for the quality and quantity to eventually mesh together. Okay, so with the invite section, this part of it for me, this looks different for everybody and every single team. For me, I personally like to have 3 to 5 active conversations going at all times in any given month. That is my formula. I'll always hit Success Club if I have that going on, no matter what. So that's sort of my bare minimum. That's kind of like what I'm always going towards, is having conversations going. And by conversations, I mean conversations that are leading to them getting started and into my challenge group, right? Not like, hey, how are you doing? Thanks for following me. That's not a conversation. For me, it's I'm actively talking to them about their goals, where they've been, where they are, where they're going, and how I can help them into my challenge group and get them started. So those 3 to 5 of those conversations a month is sort of what I'm going for, bare minimum. Anything beyond that is gravy, right? So when I do the invite section, what I like to think about is 3 parts. Who do I need to reach out to? Who do I need to like cultivate to start new conversations with, that, or who is new that I can invite, right? Who is existing, meaning who are my inactive challengers and inactive coaches or partners that I can re-engage? And then who do I need to follow up with? Who am I mid conversation with and I need to follow up and close the deal and get them started? Like, how can I push them to go? So those are the 3 categories that I focus on. Today, I just want you to think through one. Who's one new person you can invite? If you don't have any, focus your time on looking through your social media, your new followers, your new friends on Facebook. Maybe create an invite post or a story. Have you thought about getting started on your health and fitness? Whatever, like try and start a conversation so you can get to an invite. So focus on someone new. Who is someone existing in your business right now? A challenger that's inactive, or a partner of yours that you've sponsored that's inactive that you can reach out to and re-engage and get them restarted on their fitness and health, nutrition first, right? And then who do you need to follow up with? Do you have someone that you are in conversations with now that has either ghosted you or you probably need to follow up with? Focus on that. So just focus on one on each category for now, and then we'll move on to the last section. Okay, who has got out at least one invite follow-up? Raise your hand. Good. See, even you guys, the thing is, even if you get one done, like you feel so much more productive. When somebody, like when you're able to just be like, okay, I feel like I've been needing to reach out to this person, and then you finally just take the second to do it, or you restart your pipeline, right? I used to talk about the pipeline all the time, having a pipeline of 3 to 5 conversations going at all times. Sometimes it takes about 60 days to build one if you don't have one yet. But if you consistently network, connect, and invite every single day, that pipeline will start to really build. And eventually, if you do it long enough, people will just start coming to you. You'll start building credibility and trust within your little community and your following, and people will latch on. It takes some people a really long time to build trust with you, especially if they've been traumatized by our industry at some point in their life, which is like 99% of people. And so it takes a minute for people to really watch you. They watch your consistency, they watch what you post, they watch your message, they listen, they pay attention. It's important to be consistent, not for so many reasons, you guys, but for like the number one thing, as far as being a coach or a person of influence for someone else, a partner in a business like ours, there's credibility is the only way that we can build that is through consistency. That's it. A lot of us aren't nutritional experts. We're not, dietitians. We're not fitness trainers. We're not any of those things. Like, we really are a sales force. We're trying to sell this idea of people getting fit to live their life in a healthier, more functioning way. That's really what we're here for. So it's all about exposure. So that consistency of showing up, doing the work, and being proof that the products work isn't just to help you improve your life, but it's also to help you improve your business, your credibility, your ability to have people look at you and trust that you're going to keep showing up and that you actually live this lifestyle. It's not about what your body looks like or what your goals are. It's that you're showing up no matter what and living within this space that you're preaching every day. That's it. So when you think about that credibility piece, instead of thinking to yourself like, oh, I got to get consistent. No, you need to become credible. You need to really put that work in and understand this process of what it takes to live a healthy lifestyle, not just start one, not just stop one and get started again, but like truly just really commit to it, right? Okay, so leading into this last little section, this is my favorite part. I spend time doing this every single day. It's my favorite part. And so many times the invite and all this stuff gets this lost. But the coaching aspect of what we do is really where a lot of our joy is found. A lot of times I'll actually skip and do this section first, just because it puts me in a good headspace. But this is really where you just get to be the partner and you get to coach people, right? Provide support, encouragement, and offer solutions. That's really what we do when we're actually coaching people. So again, you can go through this list. You can do one or two things. You can do all of them. Whatever speaks to you. I do every single one of these every single day. Check your challenge group. Determine the needs of your challengers. This is a quick glance. Pop in there, see what people are talking about. Understand where people are at. Most of the time, you guys, what's so weird about this, and I used to talk about this all the time, when a lot of women are together, they always say you'll sync up, right? Like with your cycles, it's kind of that same way in your challenge groups. For whatever reason, everyone seems to be struggling with the same things most of the time. So if you're ever like, I don't know what content to post, I don't know what value to put in here, pay attention to what your challengers are struggling with. What are you, and if you don't know, ask. So number one, I check for the needs. The second thing I do is I respond to all the new posts from my challengers with some kind of encouragement or support or solution. I post something of value or I open some kind of discussion point for the day. I pick a topic for the day and I ask for opinions. I do a partner or challenger one-on-one reach out. That's really just which challenger deserves my attention, which partner deserves my attention. And then some kind of recognition piece, right? I touch base with every high potential partner that I'm working with. So my new partners, my existing partners, anybody that's really actively working their business and really pushing for a goal. And then the very last thing I do is just review my day. Do I have any calls today? What's on my schedule? What events do I have? Super simple. So pick one or two of these for the sake of time, and then we'll close up. When you guys guide this on your own, you'll be able to go through it a lot quicker without the explanation all the time. Okay, we have 3 more minutes. Okay, guys, we're gonna end. I was trying to find the power hour I wanted to do next week because I think it's the conversational power hour. I just can't remember what it is, but it actually gives examples on how to, like, exactly how what I say and what to like reach out to people with, like the verbiage. Some of the things that I used to get frustrated with when I was just learning how to talk to people and like not be afraid of people and not be afraid to like reach out to people was exactly what to say and how to actually engage people, because a lot of people have a fear of being like salesy or out of place, meaning like, oh, I don't have the right to message this person and ask them certain questions. For me, I have no personal boundaries around questions. For I've discovered, I used to think it was a gift. Now I'm like, maybe I need to like pull back. But when you can learn how to just really engage with people, it's so helpful in these activities and you can do them with so much more ease. So my next power hour is not next week, but the following week. But what I want to start doing on my at Power Hours page on Instagram, it's just Power OURS. I just post like, it's a private page and I just post information about my power hours, but I wanted to start doing like a 15-minute power up on Tuesdays and Thursdays, probably around noon my time, and just really diving into like the actual verbiage and just talking to people and like how to really overcome that fear and just build that confidence. Because for me, when I think about a takeaway, and I want you to write maybe what has been your biggest takeaway partnering with Body to date. Like if you were done coaching today what's the one thing you could take away from this experience for the rest of your life? There's a couple for me. One of them was paying off our student debt entirely, right? Like no matter what, that set us ahead financially like 30 years. The second thing would be losing my fear of people. Like I was super like introverted, super afraid of everything. I mean, I would have a fly in my drink at a restaurant and I would just pick it out and drink it anyway, instead of being like, sorry, there's a fly in my water. Like that's how afraid of people I was. So for me to just be able to like sit here and talk to everybody and have no fear and like actively want to engage with people and like crave that kind of connection is like the biggest transformation of all time. And if I can teach people how to not be afraid of other people, that is life-changing. It just opens up an entirely different world for you. And I think most people aren't in my situation that I was in, but a lot of people are. And that confidence and really learning your self-worth and building that from within instead of outside of yourself is something that I'm really passionate about. So if you want to hit those power ups, you can. My next power hour will be, what's the calendar date? Yeah, August 3rd. In the morning. I'm going to find that connective power hour and just go through exactly how I reach out to each individual category of person, just to give you some real concrete ideas on how to talk to people and what to actually say. That leadership language was the most frustrating thing to learn. I still feel like I don't really know it, but for those of you that know, you know that there's definitely a language barrier sometimes between entry point and leadership roles. There's a real learning process that you have to learn to really be able to influence people the way that you want to. So if we can speed up that process, then I would love to help do that. So thanks for hopping on. Sorry about the technical difficulties. I'll see you guys in a couple weeks.